Hi everyone, today I'm going to be doing my autumn book haul SFF edition. In the last few months I've bought an awful lot of books, and to be honest I may have bought a bit too many this year in fact, because it's gotten steadily worse as I've become more involved in BookTube and GoodReads Group. So I'm going to try and control myself a bit more from now on. So I'm putting myself a little limit where I can only have one active order of books at a time, and that order can only at most contain 2 books. This should limit my books a lot. I mean, this will probably half the amount of books I'm buying. Anyway, onto the books. The first book I actually bought from a bookshop for a change. I generally buy most of my books online, as you may have realised. And that is The Complete Robot by Isaac Asimov. This is related to iRobot, as you may know. And this is a short story collection. Some of them range from 10 pages to about 50-60 pages, I think. Could be wrong. There's about 2 dozen stories, 20 to 30-ish stories, and they're all to do with artificial intelligence and robots, of course. And I'm quite eager to read this because it does sound really good. The next book is William Gibson and Neuromancer. Brock from Let's Read is currently doing, as of November, a read-along for this book. This is science fiction, and it's in particular cyberpunk. Gibson and this book has basically been said to have created the cyberpunk genre. So this book is a very significant one within the science fiction genre, and I'm really looking forward to reading this as well. Well, I'm really looking forward to reading every book I buy. The next 2 books are Authority by Jeff Vandermeer and Acceptance by Jeff Vandermeer. This is book 2 and 3 of the Southern Reach trilogy, which, along with the first one, which I read last month, which is Annihilation. Then we've got the Southern Reach trilogy, and they are a weird sort of science fiction horror, some people class them as. It's not horror to me. It's psychological, definitely, and there's something about them that I like. They're really bizarre, but I really like the first one, so I've got the next 2, and they look really nice, especially together like this. So I'll be glad to read these, probably quite soon. I'm actually planning to read them in December, in fact. The next books are a complete trilogy, and they are Red Mars, Green Mars, and Blue Mars by Stanley Robinson. These are the Mars trilogy, unsurprising for the name. They are hard science fiction, apparently, about the evolution of Mars, and they go from its very first settlers and the terraforming process to Green Mars, which is basically the vegetation and the jungle and basically wildlife, to Blue Mars, which is terraforming fully into a world like Earth. They sound quite interesting, and I've been wanting to get into something like this for some time, and these were on offer as well, so I couldn't help myself. The next book is Railsea by China Miéville. This is steampunk, which is a subgenre of fantasy, and China Miéville is known for really bizarre plots and ideas. I mean, really bizarre. This one is about a guy whose name is rather weird. Sham Yes Up Thurup, apparently. Yeah. Who is a mole hunter. And the moles in question happen to be the same size as the sandworms from June, from what I know. And he's running round on a railway line track or something with a harpoon trying to hunt them. And things happen. That's what it sounds like. It's really bizarre. I haven't read it, of course, though. The plot could be even more twisted than it actually sounds, probably is, as it is Miéville. And this will be the last book I read this year. The first book I read this year was a China Miéville book, so the last book this year I want to be a China Miéville book. So I brought that specifically for that reason. The following books are all related to one person, and that is Estelle. or Automenta. She inspired me to buy all of these, so I blame her in a nice way. The first two books are The Quantum Thief and The Fractal Prince by Hannu Vainiemi. He's a Finnish author who now lives in Scotland, and he's lived there for some time, I believe. And these are science fiction, really interesting sounding. And Hannu himself has got a degree, many degrees in advanced mathematics and that kind of thing. So these are quite themed, so to speak, and they do feature sort of quite complex terminology, I believe, from what I've heard. So I'm really looking forward to reading these. Quite a few people have mentioned them, so they should be really good. The second from last set of books this month is actually ones that quite a few people should be familiar with, as there is a buddy read for one of them. And that is the Katy J Series by Chris Wooding, which contains Retribution Falls, The Black Lung Captain, Iron Jackal, which is being buddy read this month, but I'm not going to take part in it because I haven't read the first two. And then finally, The Ace of Schools, which is going to be buddy read in January. So I'm going to have to read the first two books in December and the third and this one in January. Shouldn't be a problem. These are steampunk novels. They've been referenced with regards to Firefly, which, if you didn't know, is a rather popular program, especially popular with me. I love the thing to pieces. I'm really eager to read these. They just sound so brilliant and exactly my kind of book. They really do. So I'm dying to read these. And finally, the last book I'm going to show you is a graphic memoir, I believe you class it as, and that is Tokyo on Foot by Florent Chavot. I am not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, or probably not. He's a Frenchman who went to Tokyo for 6 months with his girlfriend, and he explored Tokyo and drew pictures of everyday things that he saw, and the things that he drew were just normal things, but he drew them beautifully. I mean, the guy can draw, definitely. And there are even little maps of places which just look amazing. So I couldn't help buying this, especially as this was inspired by Estelle, and I would like to go to Tokyo, as you may have gathered by this point. So I thought this might just be oddly appropriate, as I will be exploring Tokyo, partially by foot as well. Okay, and that's it for this book haul. If you've read any of the books that I've talked about today, please let me know. I'm always interested to hear. I do not plan for there to be any more book hauls this year, because as I said, I'm trying to reduce and control the amount of books I'm buying. So hopefully there won't be. About the only other book actually that I will be buying this year will be for a buddy read in January, and that will be The Stand by Stephen King. Other than that, I don't plan to buy any more books whatsoever this year. Anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.